welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 312. I am Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of the NoDQ Review. Of course, Aaron Rift is here. Big G is here. Doesn't look so happy to be here, maybe because the lowly Cleveland Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the snow. Walter is here, and Son is here. What's going on, everybody? Son, what's up?
Everybody, Son Goshimaku here, back to be on NoDQ Review. It has been too long, and I'm ready to talk some wrestling because, man, we got some things that are cooking real good.
Stay tuned. You know how this works. We got a few topics, and I'll be back to you shortly. Big G, what's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a good couple of days of wrestling this past week and weekend, so like I say, let's get this ball rolling.
All right, stay tuned. Like, I got to shave. My beard's getting bushy. I'm like a wrestling fan, neck beard. I looked in the mirror and I'm just disgusted with myself. Walter, what's going on?
That's funny. I looked at my beard and said the same thing, and I'm not even near you.
Shave.
I was like, dang.
No shave November. What's up?
But yeah, I'm doing well. Just cold. Besides that, I'm good. But you got good topics, and I'm ready to jump into it.
Hey, is this normal? I got my flu shot today. And why do I feel like I got sick? Did it get you sick when you get your shot?
Yes. My son
got not bad, but just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for me, the COVID shot is a little worse. The flu shot, barely anything. But I know people that have felt a little under the weather from the flu shot.
Yeah, I got it this morning, and I feel like I got the flu. Anyway, I'll be all right. Aaron, what's going on?
I'm doing pretty well. 1 year ago, I had COVID. This year, I'm feeling great. And Thanksgiving is on. It's not going to be canceled for my family. We're all excited for the holiday coming up on Thursday. And shout out to everybody in the United States. I hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And thank you for tuning in tonight to the NoDQ Review on the second to eve of Thanksgiving. And we do have Survivor Series coming up on Saturday, a very big pay-per-view event, one of the big four. We have 2 War Games matches coming up. So we got quite a few topics to discuss tonight. We got AEW coming out of Full Gear, and we'll see what the panel thinks of that pay-per-view event. And shout out to our good friend, the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, said, great to see Son. Everybody's happy to have Son back. I am too. And Colin says, let's effing go, boys. And he says, go Browns. There you go. Big G will not be happy with that, but it is what it is.
I still love you, Colin.
There you go. All right, I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, well, let's just get this out of the way. Let's get the Full Gear thoughts out of the way. Now, I'm the moderator, and I know what happened based on following NoDQ, but I did not watch it, so let's pass it around the horn. Now, if you don't have much to say on it, that's okay. Go ahead and pass it to the next person. But, Son, I'm going to start with you. Do you watch it? Son, do you watch AEW these days?
I think something just happened with the stream pause. Okay, I think I'm back. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Okay. Yeah, I actually was saying before we got here. So to me, unfortunately, AEW hasn't been cooking. I mean, in the ring, they're always cooking in the ring, but just with storylines, characters, not been cooking as much as I thought usually as they used to. I'm super busy as a content creator, so I spend most of my time going from dynamite to dynamite, listening to it, checking out Mercedes and checking out the Hurt Syndicate. That being said, I did not watch the pay-per-view. I just caught up little highlights on social media and listened to Aaron's reviews. The biggest things I'll say, it seemed that once again Mercedes always kills it in the ring, but it looked like she gave a much more competitive match to Camille and even defeated her a lot more a competitive match to Chris Statlander than what Camille did, and she ended up getting the win, of course. Looks like clean. And I gotta say, I've been disappointed with how they've booked Camille. I thought she was going to come in, be this big, heavy for Mercedes, and they were going to build up to this whole year-long thing, similar to what they did with MJF MJF and Wardlow, and then they start teasing the dissension between them, and that eventually leads to her going on doing her own thing. But they kind of like had her getting beat in these very competitive matches, and then just getting destroyed now for Mercedes. So I don't know what's going there. I will say though, I think Tony Khan has done an excellent job with the Hurt Syndicate, especially Shelton Benjamin. I don't remember Shelton being this well booked back in WWE in forever. So I think he's done a great job, and from the highlights I saw and from what I heard in Aaron's review, I think it's great that they are presenting Bobby Lashley as a big deal right off the bat, beating Swerve. I think it's awesome that Tony is still also making a big deal out of Swerve. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. Everything else, man, I just don't know. Like, what's going on with like Hangman Adam Page? You build him up, and then they had him get beat by Jay White twice, and I thought they were going to be building to something for there. The world title picture, what they're doing with the Moxley thing, I don't know, man. It's just some things I feel like it's not working for me. I want to see some more pushed in terms of storylines and characters when it comes to AEW. So that's kind of what I got to say from that standpoint.
And look, just by listening to what you said, Jay White's infinitely better than Hangman Page, so book him over him every single time, as far as I'm concerned.
He's good. He's definitely good. It's just they built up Hangman to this point, and I was like, I thought they were going to do some 50-50 booking, but now they're having him lose right after. But yeah, they both definitely good, and I do agree
he can lose every match. Big G. So was this clickbait, or was there a back scratch at this show? And was it a legit back scratch? Like, this is fake staged wrestling, and they're really taking their nails to make like, I just don't understand these idiots. I mean, all right, go ahead, Big G. What's your thoughts here? Did you watch it? I figure you're a good one to shill $50 out for AEW.
I did not. On the card.
I did not. Lately I've just been watching like highlights and stuff with the pay-per-view. Oh, I did watch Wrestle Dream, but this pay-per-view I really didn't watch. I did watch it, but I didn't watch it because I kind of fell asleep throughout it because I was just really tired.
Did you pay the $50?
No, I did not. Heck no. No, I did it another way. Anyways, I did go back and watch highlights and stuff like that, and I'm with Son. It's not really clicking with me nowadays. It's hard for me to watch Dynamite just to sit through it and watch it. And I mean, yeah, you got the Hurt Syndicate, but I mean, that's just another knockout, Tony Khan trying to please the fans with something that WWE had and trying to make it his own with nothing against MVP, Shelton, and Lashley, but it's just, it's his Bobby Lashley is his flavor of the month, his new shiny toy until he goes and finds somebody else to sign with AEW. But yeah, Mercedes, I'm just not feeling it with her in AEW either. I don't know. Something's not clicking with me right now in AEW. I'm just
and I do not set this up intentionally. I mean, no, I know Aaron has to watch it for his job, but like, look, you're starting to sense a pattern here, and people just seem disinterested. And I'm not in AEW, and again,
I'm not trying to find the worst in it. I want them to succeed,
But like, we all do our own thing, and we don't say, "Hey, we're all going to boycott AEW." And we all do our thing. We watch our wrestling, and here we are, 2 people in, and there's just not much to say about.
And I did AEW. I did watch 0 Hour and the whole. So if people aren't familiar with the Costco guys and the Rizzler, they are mainstream on TikTok. They're very big on TikTok with their videos and stuff like that. So just throwing, because I know Aaron just got a super chat with that, and just throwing it out there.
Who are those guys? Is that the one with like the kid and
yeah? So
get off it. Like what? I mean,
the father and the son, they're the Costco guys. They go into Costco.
Is one a legit wrestler? Is anyone a legit wrestler?
Yeah.
He the guy, the dad. Yeah, I guess he did some independence wrestling like 20-some years ago. But anyways, that was it for me.
Hey, I'm not familiar with them, but is it true they got a big view count from that on YouTube?
Yeah,
they have a Huge.
That's what's
following.
wrong with our
They have
world.
a huge following.
Listen,
Yeah.
there are these people that are not talented at all, popular and becoming rich off of the internet. And like, I don't give a crap. Aaron, you should be as popular as those kids and as rich as those kids off your wrestling content, because you do a hell of a lot better at what you do than some of these content people that are out there putting up crap and people sucking it up and buying it and giving them views. And this is an insane world on what's popular and what's not.
That's life.
I'm going to give
Sometimes-
Taylor Swift her due because she sang and went up through the ranks and did it that way. But these people becoming popular on social media, geez.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it can definitely
What?
be frustrating. Like if you feel like you're doing really good work, but others are getting more popularity
It's
and
strange.
more
It's
recognition. So yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
could be frustrating.
There's a lot of just the bounce piggyback off what Aaron just said in YouTube Virtue. You know me, I'm a big TikTok guy, and I follow a lot of people. And I follow the Costco guys and stuff like that because I find
You're part of the problem.
They're stupidly funny. But anyways,
you're trying to get big. You're trying to get big.
There's a bunch of
connections,
content creators on TikTok that you guys see on WWE television, and I follow them on TikTok too because they do their reactions and stuff like that too. And I feel like TikTok and Twitch are like the two big platforms out there right now in content.
I've never downloaded TikTok. I don't even have Instagram.
Yeah.
And when I'm on Twitch, I watch people that I know that might only have 10, 15 people watching them live.
Right.
I don't need to be part of these huge communities, except NoDQ. But anyway, Anyway, Aaron, I'm going to go to you next. I know this is rehashed for you, so Walter, just wait a few. But some super chats came in. Psycho Jet Black's here tonight. So are we going to get out of here on time?
Probably not, but I'll go ahead and read some of these off. I mean, you guys can check out my recap if you missed it. Just to sum it up, I thought it was a good pay-per-view, but if I had to rank all the AEW pay-per-views of the year, Full Gear would probably be at the bottom. And it wasn't bad or anything, but it just didn't have the high quality of matches that we've seen on some of the other shows. That's the thing. AEW set the bar so high that now if they put on a very good show or even a good show, it's the worst show of the year. And I shouldn't say worst. I would say like the bottom show, but still it was pretty solid. The question is though, is that good enough? Like they've done so many things. This is the problem when you do set the bar so high and you have wrestlers getting set on fire and the staples in the mouth, the needle in the mouth, and Sting retiring. You do all these things. How do you top it after that? At some point, you're not going to be able to top it anymore when you just keep trying to do all these crazy things. And that's the problem here. The pay-per-views have been doing well for AEW. Their crowds for the pay-per-views have still been good, while the TV shows have been down. But will that continue now? I mean, how long can they keep it going? Like the pay-per-views, that's the one thing AEW has going for it. And I fear like if they can't keep up the level of the pay-per-views at a very high level, people might lose interest. So we'll see what happens with that. And we'll get to the super chats here. First of all, thank you, Psycho Jet Black. You're going to entertain us here with a couple of these. So this is a little trivia for everybody. Have any of you ever had peas before? Who said that line? Anybody? Wow. Nobody knows that legendary line from Luther Reigns in 2004 on a Thanksgiving SmackDown. Luther Reigns was upset because he wasn't invited to the Big Show and one of the Diva Search competitors' Thanksgiving feast.
Oh,
and Luther
man, I
Reigns,
forgot.
Yeah, Luther Reigns was.
And I can remember some pretty obscure wrestling stuff, but I forgot.
One of the worst segments in wrestling history. So
we never found out.
Somehow you remembered it, Aaron.
We never found out who smashed KO in the face with a pie.
No, we did not, and we probably never will. Now, going back to earlier, said Psycho Jet Black sent in $2 and says, will the stream cut out like that one WCW pay-per-view? All right, more trivia. What pay-per-view is that? Anybody know?
Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, there you go. Virtue got it.
Which one? 98 or 99?
98.
98.
They cut out before the DDP and Bill Goldberg match, so they put that on Nitro on Monday.
In its entirety.
Yes, and that was the last time, another trivia note, the last time Nitro ever beat Raw in the ratings. So there you go. And no, we will not be cutting out. I think we're good. We had a little hiccup there. We're live, pal. It happens. All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Hey Baron, do you miss being Happy Corbin?" I do not miss Happy Corbin. I do not miss Baron Corbin. I do not miss King Corbin. I do not miss Constable Corbin. I don't miss any of them.
Bum ass Baron was better than all of them. Bum ass Baron.
Yeah, bum ass Baron is the only one I miss at this point. So thank you for that, Psycho. And then the last one here for Psycho, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Reliable. Psycho Jet Black says, "Will the Costco guys and Rizzler show up in WWE?" I hope not. I have no desire to see them on my TV screen again. Even though the match wasn't terrible, I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but I have no desire to see these guys in any capacity.
When they say the Costco guys, are they like in Costco commercials?
They eat at Costco.
So
Costco.
they go to since I follow them on TikTok. Let me explain here. So they go into Costco and they rate different things. They do different things. He likes his double chocolate chunk cookie. He likes his chicken bacon ranch, whatever.
Hey,
they just do clips in Costco.
I like the hot dogs at Sam's Club, so maybe I should go to Sam's
And
Club and record a video and review myself eating a hot dog with
and the
extra
Rizzler.
relish. I like my extra relish Sam's Club hot dog. Will that make
There you go.
get me on AEW?
There you go.
And then I could steal somebody's catchphrase like "boom." Like what's a one-word phrase that somebody says?
Yeet.
Yeet.
I'm gonna have a Costco or not a Costco. I'm gonna have a Sam's Club hot dog. Yeet. Will that get me a million?
We live in a
views on
crazy
TikTok?
world where a girl could fart into a jar and sell it and make $100,000 a year.
Well,
so.
you can talk about how you.
You've been looking up online, Walter.
I'm telling you, some crazy shit that you make. Well, people make money.
You could talk about like how you spit on that thing, and then you could become an internet sensation.
Unbelievable. Oh man, unbelievable.
I mean, how did that woman get famous?
Because you know why?
I don't know.
You know, she's cute and she's got the southern accent, and it worked. That's exactly why.
Iron Sheik was the original Haktua, all right? I don't care
I know.
what anybody says.
Another infringement. Come on now. We got to go back and find like an old 80s or 90s catchphrase. Go to Sam's Club, eat some hot dogs and pizza, and make ourselves TikTok sensations.
It's the AEW. Listen, they bring these people in, and it's deterring us from talking about AEW. We're talking about influencers now, not wrestling related. All right, Aaron, what else?
I think we got through all the super chats from Psycho Jeff Black. Let's throw it over to Walter. Walter looks very comfortable in that Mr. Reliable
What cold, dude?
Blanket, or is that a?
It's a robe, but I'm wearing it backwards as a blanket because I'm cold.
Is it a snuggie? Psycho Jet
No.
Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "I agree with Walter. Snuggies are comfortable."
No, I'm wearing it like it's a snuggie, but it's not. It's a regular robe.
Where can we find that robe? Because it looks very comfortable.
I made it myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had like a regular robe, just made it with the printing, Mr. Reliable, and the Simply Reliable Studios on the other side.
I mean, we got to be able to buy these because I mean that could keep us warm for the winter.
If I get requests, I'll sell them out there. But anyways, to the AEW, I got a different perspective of the Costco thing. It's smart business because it's marketing and it gets attention. Look how we're talking about it, right? I think that was the whole purpose of it. So, not that it's my cup of tea, but if you look at it, Virtue, you're a business guy. If you look at it from a business perspective, you can't knock them. It's smart. Like they're reaching an audience that they can't normally reach. Like it's a niche audience and they need to reach them. And AEW knows, Lord knows, they need all the help they can get.
But like Walter,
that's why I call it Arena Empty Wrestling.
Hey, WWE bringing in Bad Bunny, who has a music career, that's one thing. Bringing in these regular people who go to Costco to rate things because they're big on a Chinese app, TikTok, whatever. Like that, to me, that's apples to oranges, man. Big league, bush league, big difference.
Hey, WWE.
Remember, I didn't like Bad Bunny initially, but I was always one to say I get it because he already had traction in terms of it. People pay to see him. TikTok, yeah, there's advertisements embedded in there, but people download TikTok. It's free. It's not like you're paying big bucks or merchandise. It's just a weird business.
WWE has a 12-year-old tag team champion, so it's like not everything they do hits. Like they have a 12-year-old that was a tag team champion with Braun. Granted, he didn't do anything in the ring, but they try to do stuff.
I take it you like these guys and you watch their Costco reviews. But
No,
anyway, go
I don't know
ahead.
nothing. I'm just talking about in pure marketing perspective. I'm not knocking it. It's not my cup of tea. I didn't like it, but whatever. And the other thing, as a parent, I look at it as that's a memory that the kids will have for their entire life. It's stories that they'll tell their grandkids. So that's like my perspective. Like it's something that they can tell somebody in the future. So well. In terms of the pay-per-view now.
This has been very enlightening for me because I didn't know anything about these guys beforehand.
Thank you, Son. Thank you.
But hey, if I will say, like Walter, if it helps AEW views, bring them on in because I want to see the company succeed for sure.
Yeah. In terms of the pay-per-view now, all you guys know how I personally feel about Mercedes, and I talk a lot of junk, but I was pleasantly surprised. Her and the Ospreay might have stole the night with their matches, and the fact that she did it all on her own. She found a weakness in her knee. She bit it at one point, which was like freaking weird. To reverse a hold, she bit her knee and she won. And like it didn't look sloppy, and it was her best match. Now, do I personally want to keep seeing her with the title and everything? No, but pleasantly surprised. And Ospreay, to my surprise, they didn't do all the flips and all the things that they normally do. They did a couple in there, but they didn't do the certain wrestle people's wet dreams, and you guys know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to say his name, but so what they like in the star ratings and the flippity doodah. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now that the main event, I never took it serious anyways because Orange Cassidy sounds like I don't know. It sounds like an alternative to orange juice that you should have on your breakfast table. So I never took him serious. I knew it was more about. I kept telling you, Aaron, it's more about whatever happens in the aftermath. Now that craziness that I don't know why they're not using stunt people. I get it that Darby Allin was a stunt man in Hollywood before or wherever he was a stunt man, so he said screw it. He looked legit hurt after that accident when he was bleeding. He looked dazed after he jumped on that car. Like, dude, I get the Daredevil thing, but at what point do you save a man from himself? Like you got to chill out. You could have used a stunt driver, easily had him in the back and flip.
We ain't gonna have him much longer. I mean, once he goes to Everest, he ain't coming back. So that's just how it's gonna be. Yeah. Not trying to be a cynic or anything, but like,
you're right though. Like sometimes
that's not something that people should do, and why they do it. That's insane.
It's like in real combat sports. You ever hear like you got to save people from themselves, like football players, because they're just gonna go in injured or not. You got to save them from themselves. At some point, somebody's got to step up.
You know what? Darby Allin has survived so many things in AEW. If anybody can survive Everest, it's him.
Whatever.
Good luck.
Then he's gonna. I don't see that man living to a ripe old age.
How he hasn't gotten seriously hurt is quite amazing.
I'm telling you, he's purposely not trying to live to an old age. That's all I'll say. But
he lives to the extreme, like Jeff Hardy.
Like you, Aaron, I do content and I do things, so I have to spend the money. But the pay-per-view wasn't as bad as everyone's making it seem, and the crowd was actually there this time, not like regular TV. So I don't know what it is that they can't translate what they do on pay-per-views to regular TVs. They can do their pay-per-views well. It's not the best of the year, but they can do it really well. And then just something when it comes to TV that I don't know what's holding them back.
Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Okay, this is simple. They have their 500,000-600,000 diehards. I don't know if that's just in the United States or whatnot. So when they do these shows, Dynamites and whatever, all these different cities, for the big events, these marks travel, but they're not going to do it for every weekly show.
Right.
What comes time for a pay-per-view, you can get your 100,000, 200,000 buys easily from your marks, and then they're going to go fill that arena up for that show.
Yeah. Like even that Dallas show will probably draw tens of thousands of fans because you're going to have people traveling from all over the country and maybe even other countries for the event.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Walter, anything else, Walter?
Just the last thing I say is they got to stop wasting MJF. He's being wasted right now on that damn rivalry that he's in.
And this comment is very accurate too. Like the pay-per-views are about the culmination of the stories leading up to the pay-per-view. So you want to have the great matches on the pay-per-view, but you can't you can't put those kind of matches on TV because people won't buy the pay-per-view. So you got to save your best matches for the pay-per-views. With the TV, you got to use the TV to build up the pay-per-views, and that's where AEW really lacks, is building up their pay-per-view matches and giving fans and viewers compelling storylines to make them excited to watch the pay-per-view. It's really, like Virtue said, your most hardcore fans, and AEW has a couple 100,000 of them that will watch no matter what, will buy the pay-per-views. They're very loyal. So AEW has that, but as far as drawing people beyond that, they're not having much success right now. Son?
Yeah, one last thing about AEW, and granted, maybe I'm spoiled because going back to the Attitude Era as a kid, Stone Cold got ran over, came back, handled his business with Rikishi and Triple H, and immediately went after Kurt Angle to get that title back. I'm wondering, why is MJF, he came back, easily took care of Cole, he didn't immediately go back after the world title. Same thing with Jamie Hayter. Why didn't she immediately go back after the world title? So I wonder what's with the story taking so long to get there, to get them back, because they're two of the biggest homegrown stars in the last several years for AEW.
Right. Remember Wardlow a couple years ago. Wardlow beat MJF, and then people are saying, oh, he's going to be the next contender for the world title. And then he comes out there and he says, well, I don't want to challenge for the world title until we know who the real world champion is, because that was when CM Punk got hurt and then John Moxley was the interim champion. But guess what?
Wow.
Once they did that angle, Wardlow never went for the title. So it's like they don't capitalize on these guys and, keep them at that level. Like MJF absolutely should be in the world title picture. And Jamie Hayter, she was one of their most popular female stars, and she's barely used right now. Like every time she's on TV lately, you got Julia Hart interrupting her, and that's what they're doing with Jamie Hayter right now. Instead of putting her in there with Mercedes or putting her in there with Mariah May, yeah, it's just the inconsistency of not pushing your guys that have some organic momentum. All right, so Virtue, we got a couple of super chats here. Shall I get to them before we move on? Another 30 minutes on AEW. Let's do it. All right. And we got this one from Emmanuel. Shout out to Emmanuel, who sent in a $10 super chat. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Says, the problem is every promotion does well in pay-per-view, but doesn't mean it does well weekly episodes. Son, have you seen the New Day Dragon BA reference in their attire last week's? Yeah.
Yes.
So Son, I'm sure you can explain that to us, because I think it has something to do with some kind of a betrayal coming, or at least they're foreshadowing.
Yes, that was definitely great for fans of WWE and Dragon Ball. Kofi Kingston, both of them were cosplaying their gear as Son Goku, the main character of Dragon Ball. The orange and blue with Kofi, that is the regular Goku, the main character, Dragon Ball, good version. And then there's also an evil version that wears red, black, and gray, and that was it's called Goku Black, basically, because in Japan, the phrase black basically meaning more dark and evil there. So when they were wearing that, I'm like, I already know what they're hitting to. Kofi and something's not going to go good with Xavier Woods. And while we're on the topic of the New Day, tremendous performance. I'm pretty sure they probably improv that. That was tremendous business that they were doing with Kofi and Xavier Woods. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Big E next week, because I'm pretty sure Big E's going to come out. And I think it's going to end one of three ways. Either Big E gets them back on the same page to get a new championship run, or Xavier does the unthinkable and turns on Kofi and Big E, or something, or maybe they just go their own separate ways. But I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for that, Emmanuel, and thank you for explaining that, Son. That's why we got you on, to help us out with some of these topics. Got some more super chats here from Psycho Jet Black. Here we go. First of all, he says, Baron, what's your favorite thing from Sam's Club? I already said it. I love the hot dogs. The hot dogs are great. You can get a hot dog and a soda for $1.50 at Sam's Club. I mean, you can't beat that. And their pizza slices are like $1.50. Seriously. Get a Sam's Club membership. It's great to buy the water in bulk. You can buy bottled water and have packs of them. You can buy toilet paper. Remember the pandemic? People ran out of toilet paper. Well, if you go to Sam's Club, you can buy lots of toilet paper, lots of paper towels, and it's an easy way to get a lot of things in a quick amount of time. Everything's there in bulk, and you can just take it home, store it, and use it when you need it. So yeah, highly recommend.
Aaron's
Sam's
already
Club
doing
membership.
that thing. Like, instead of Costco, he's already doing it with Sam's Club.
Yeah, and it's not even. This is not even a product placement. I got $0 for that, but I do like Sam's Club. Anyways, and they're basically the same thing as Costco, for anybody wondering. Okay. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2, says Aaron should steal from Ryback and yell meat. I mean, I could do that. I could say feed me more, eat a hot dog, feed me more, get some more hot dogs, and do a hot dog eating, Sam's Club hot dog eating challenge.
Just walk around and point at all the packages of steak and go meat, and you'll become famous on TikTok.
There you go. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2 and says, seriously, do you want Shane McMahon in AEW? I do, but I don't think it's going to happen. Does anybody think Shane's actually going to show up at this point?
He probably was gonna, and he's like, forget this.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
It'd be a cool, surreal moment, but once again, it's all going to be in the follow-up as basically where is it going to go in terms of building more interest, I think, for the product for viewing audiences.
I think they've already blown it. The John Moxley storyline, I don't care. If Shane McMahon shows up, I don't even care now.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he will, but they need to hurry up and pull the trigger because the longer that passes, no one's gonna give two rat's asses no more. Like, it's gonna be the big initial shock for that week. We're gonna get traffic on NoDQ and the Super Reliable Studio for that week, and then it's just dead.
Yeah, I don't even really care at this point. I think they missed the opportunity to do it. I'm like, whatever. All right, so Psycho Jet Black says, seriously, Will Hobbs should have Darby Allin's spot. I'd say push Will Hobbs to the moon. Like, I don't know what they're doing with him. He's one of those guys. You know, they had him beat Chris Jericho last year. I know he got hurt, and you know people say that about Wardlow. Oh, Wardlow got hurt. I like Hobbs, and I say they should be pushing him in a top spot. He could be the future of the company, but are they ever going to go with him because he's not the 5-star, you know, ring general that does all the flips. You know, he's more of your heavyweight, your muscular heavyweight. But hey,
it's too bad. Hobbs has all the tools to be the main eventer.
In terms of the way they book him, he's their Shinsuke Nakamura. They just start, stop. They don't know what to do with him.
You could say that about
either pull the trigger. Either pull the trigger or don't. Like, just stop teasing it. Like, damn it, don't get me excited that they're gonna be and then pull it and then pull it away from us at the same time. Like, either do or don't.
I agree. And Emmanuel sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Emmanuel. Says Shane McMahon is still in the WWE roster as an FYI. I did not know that. I mean, you can't really go by that because they don't update their website too often. I'll tell you what, if he showed up on AEW, he'd be off that website in a heartbeat. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, they just don't get around to changing it. You can't really read anything into that. And you know what? Shane could end up back in WWE. Never say never, right? Oh, Walter went away. I guess he got a little too comfortable in that outfit, and maybe he got so hot the heat around him turned his computer off or something. I don't know. But anyways, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Walter. Oh, Walter's not here. Oh, wait. There he is. He's back. How's it going, Walter?
Okay, that was just a botch. I went to close the other window and closed the wrong one.
Okay,
but
I thought it had something to do with your Snuggie there. But
I used to stay doing the flops and the woos, and I still do it. Tell you what, you watch the Simply Reliable Studios during the karaoke, and you super chat us. I'll do it on camera.
Okay, well there you go. So make sure you guys check out Walter's content and check out everyone's stuff that they do outside of here. Check out Sun's channel. We'll be plugging that in just a little bit. Check out Big G's stuff on TikTok, and of course follow Walter. Virtue is on Twitter, and you can follow him, and he can block you, and then you can apologize to him, and then the cycle just continues.
I've kept all those trolls in check. I've had a lot of respectful people lately on there.
Well, you know now if you block someone, they can still see your page. Do you like that change or no?
It doesn't matter. Like I unblock everybody anyways.
I just mute accounts I don't like because I don't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing I'm not seeing their stuff, you know.
I've honestly
Anyways,
never blocked anyone because it's like you shouldn't have that power over me.
yeah, I don't block people. I just mute them. I think that's a much better option. Anyways, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says, well, will Xavier Woods be a future world champion? I'm going to say no. But
No, unfortunately not.
Not in WWE.
I hope so before he calls it a career.
It has to be that lightning in a bottle moment. Like somebody big has got to be hurt at the time. It's like everything has to work together. So like organically, no. But if like some crazy circumstances happen, then they might look at him and be like, "Yep, let's do it."
That's one reason why I'm so interested in where this New Day storyline is going, because I wonder if this is what they're trying to use to sort of build Xavier Woods up and maybe give him that potential push, because I think what he's showing from a serious level standpoint is fantastic, and if they give him that push and give him that run, maybe let's see if he can catch some fire and everything. So I'm definitely open to it. I would hope to see Xavier Woods become world champion before he calls it a career.
He's 38. He's younger than I thought he was. You know, he's been in the business for a while, but hey, 38.
Yeah, I remember he was Consequences Creed in TNA.
Creed, yeah. So he's been around for quite a bit. Never say never, but I would lean against it happening just because, you know, they're focused on other people and, you know, they're looking at their 20-year-olds that they want to invest in and push those guys as future world champions.
That's the negative of having such a bloated roster, though.
Definitely a lot better since they got 2 world titles now.
All right, we got a couple more. I mean, this is going to be on. We got more. So thank you guys for the super chats tonight. This might be
dude. I don't mind skipping the women's mid-card title discussion.
Well, I did put it in the thumbnail. We can give our thoughts real quick on it in a minute. Oofman Entertainment. Oofman Oscar sent in a $5 super chat, says, was there an official number for Full Gear? Again, the arena was packed, not completely sold out, but very packed. I believe they did just over 10,000 fans, which, hey, for AEW, that's a good number. In November of 2024, that's a solid number for AEW. The problem is the weekly shows, as we've talked about. The key is getting those numbers up, or at least running smaller venues, so you know, you have the energy on TV. And I always say this, I think the crowds matter. Like if the crowds are dead, I think that can hurt a good show. And I think a good crowd can also make a not so good show better. So I think being in a smaller building, it would create a better atmosphere and would make the shows a little bit better. All right. Got a super chat here from Arlene Dominguez, sent in $5. Thank you for that. Says, who wins in an arm wrestling contest between me and Virtue?
I'd rather do the face slapping contest, but we can.
That was a question on Saturday. That's why she's bringing it here.
He pinned me, so he'd probably beat me in the arm wrestling contest.
Arm wrestling's about leverage, so I don't know. Aaron might have good leverage. I don't know. I don't really arm wrestle. So.
We all picked Virtue, just so you guys know. Like they asked us that. They super chatted that.
Maybe one day we'll have to
right-handed or left-handed.
I'm right-handed.
Okay, yeah, so am I. So that would work. But.
Well, maybe next year we'll make it happen for you guys. We'll have to wait and see on that. The Shanti sticks to NoDQ. I like that username. Sent in $5. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, is there anyone on the indies you guys are watching and following? I'm on August. I don't know who that is, but I have not been watching as much indies as I probably should. So I can't really say anybody off the top of my head. Is there anyone here that follows independents? Big G, you were doing some of those events. Like, is there anybody that's been on your radar?
Not really, no. I mean, those are just mainly meet and greets and stuff like that. I mean, you had, MCW, you know, or who am I? Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, you know, hopefully Enzo.
Huh. But yeah, I mean, there were a couple people at TNA that I thought might have some potential. You never know. Jordan Grace is obviously somebody who we've already seen, but yeah, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head that I'm like, that person's going to be the next big thing. I mean, back in the day, I used to go to the PWG shows in California, and I could see guys. Oh, there's Kevin Steen. He's gonna maybe be a big deal one day. But even back then, the thing is, like, I didn't think they were going to make it to WWE. Now it's different, and now, there's people that you look at them and you think they actually have a shot now because they're recruiting all sorts of people of different sizes and backgrounds.
Gino, he's a wrestler. He's like one of JJ's friends, and he like came on the Saturday Night Shenanigans, let us interview her, and he was just an extra, one of the securities in the segment that happened on Raw.
You know what it is with these super chats? I shouldn't have said I got my flu shot and I'm feeling a little sick because they're trying to keep me up. They're ribbing me. That's what's happening today.
It's going to be the 1 hour mark before we get to the second topic tonight. Good old JM Jeff Meacham even sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jeff. Favorite Thanksgiving dish that no one else seems to like? That's a tough question there because everybody seems to like everything, right?
Cranberry sauce and relish. At least where I eat, nobody likes it. And I always thought
I really don't like cranberry sauce.
Yeah,
I don't either.
Always there's mine.
Yeah,
I never liked it either.
I'm not into it either. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Can
go.
I say like anything that like is not a traditional Thanksgiving dish, like just like chicken or something?
Why don't we do the opposite? Say something we like that most people. I meant that we don't like that most people like, because like I'm not a fan of stuffing. Everybody seems to love it.
I love stuffing.
Everybody loves stuffing, so there you go. You're the odd man out on that one.
My favorite, sweet potatoes with the marshmallow.
I don't like gravy, so there's a fun fact.
Oh, really? Okay.
Turkey has always just seemed dry as hell to me. I never liked turkey.
Yeah, I just don't like gravy. I've never liked gravy, and I know that's popular with Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's easier to answer than the other question. But thank you, Jeff. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says your favorite Thanksgiving TV special. What is Thanksgiving TV special?
I don't know. It used to be Survivor Series. Like that's not TV. That was pay-per-view. But like that's
the
what
thing with the float.
Oh, I think he means like the Simpsons, stuff like that. Like the Simpsons Thanksgiving, the Family Guy. That's what I think he means.
I can't even think of a
Charlie
Simpsons
Brown.
one.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only two that come to mind is going to be WWE related.
Episode.
The 1999 and 2002 Thanksgiving SmackDown specials. Those are all-time classics for me.
If you're speaking of TV, I prefer Simpsons Halloween, all the different Halloweens rather than Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is kind of like the forgotten holiday almost. We got Halloween and then it's on to Christmas. Thanksgiving doesn't get any love. So I can't really think of any because Thanksgiving is kind of like an afterthought at this point. All right, so Psycho Jet Black has one more. This is actually wrestling one. Will Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill forfeit the tag team titles? Probably, because the word is that she's going to be out for several months. You don't think so, Walter?
Nope. I think they should treat Bianca the way they did Kane, where he was defending the title by himself. Let her be that thing, and then whoever somebody beats her.
I like that idea because I feel like we've already had several teams forfeit the titles. I'd rather them do that where like she picks Naomi, but then Naomi betrays her or something.
Like, you know what I think? I think they should make Jade Cargill go out there and have to play injured, and she can't ever do anything, and that she just stands on the apron and just starts refusing to contribute, and it creates a rift between them. That's what they should do. Why does somebody that's hurt have to be off TV? Why can't they put a little wrap on them and then have them be valuable somehow?
I think that's what they did with the Undertaker, like in '99 when he was doing the angle with the Big Show right before he left. Like he stuck around for a while and was doing stuff and not wrestling.
Not a bad idea. You know what they could have did, Virtue, based on what you did? They could have redid Bret Hart and Owen. Like they could have had her on the apron, never released that she was hurt. Bianca never tags her, and she's like, dude, all you had to do was tag, and you can like run it week to week, and then it just finally where Jade just blows up. Like all you had to do was tag me, and you never tagged me. Like you're trying to do everything by yourself. They could have like redid that Owen Hart Bret Hart thing.
Yeah, I mean they got some creative things that they can do. Yeah, I really hope they don't do the vacating of the titles. But anyway, speaking of titles, let's go ahead and do that transition.
Quick, Big G, spill your guts.
I was gonna play into it. I was gonna say, since they're making these mid-card titles for the women, they just need to get rid of the women's tag team titles at this point.
Well, that's the next topic. So we know they're going to bring the U.S. title for the women's and now the Intercontinental. And let's have more titles. Instead of combining titles and making them more important, let's have more. 2 shows, 2 titles of all titles for all genders. What does everybody think about that? I don't mind the mid-card title for the women, but again, why can't we have one world champion that's on both shows, one mid-card Intercontinental or U.S. champion that's on both shows? So what's everybody's thought here? I'm sure some people are going to like it. Too many belts. That's my opinion. Big G, I'll start with you since you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, if they get rid of the women's tag team titles, then I feel like I mean, regardless, it's too many titles. But each show has to have their own champion, to have their own title belt. That way, whoever has the title will feel special. We know how everybody felt when Roman was champ for 4 years and Raw didn't have a title. So, and I think the women deserve it. They've been kicking ass the past couple of years. But when they do, whoever are the first champions for each title, they need to have a lengthy reign just to kind of establish a title. But yeah, get rid of the women's tag team titles first, because those are irrelevant. If it's true that Jade is really hurt, then and people believe that these titles are cursed, the story going around. So just get rid of the women's tag team titles at this point, because you really don't have that many tag teams to begin with. So, but we'll see how these titles go.
Walter, you know what it is? More title belts to sell so the marks can buy them. I mean, these grown adult men are going to carry around ladies champion. More opportunity for them to carry around ladies championship replica belts. All right, what's your thoughts on this?
It is a marketing tool, but I guess I can't really crap all over until it depends
like
on
kids
how they
buying the toy belts. Perfect. I used to have them. That makes sense.
Yeah, some of these belts are ridiculous. 7, 8. I think the Cena one was like $1,000. So like some of them are crazy. CM Punk's new one is like $700. But it depends on how they book it. But they got too many titles. But at the same time, it is good to see the women have something else to strive for besides the main title, because it's like you got all these women. It's like everything is about just that one title. They should have something else to go for, because we know not everybody can be world championship material. So you have to have something else to strive for. But what you should have did was just had it as one title and defend it against all 3 brands, not just 2. You should go down to NXT, defend that title there. You should go to the Raw and SmackDown, defend that one title. Because I feel like when they originally did the brand split, that's what made it fun. That when people were the undisputed champion, they were the only ones allowed on both shows. If they actually kept that going, then none of us would complain. Like, that was actually good. That 2002, 2003 era was great when they actually did it. You had to be a champ. First, you had to be a champ to survive the invasion and Survivor Series. Then it was, these champs are on this show, these champs are on that show, and only the champs can be on both. And it was like, that was awesome, because then it made you want to go. If you wanted to see your favorite star and you couldn't go to SmackDown, you had the chance to go to Raw and see them because they had the champ, and vice versa. But you had to be exclusive, and they had exclusive PLEs, so you got to see who you wanted and pick the show you want to go see. So it was great, but I don't want to crap all over the titles before they happen. It just depends on how they book it. But history shows that they really just don't book the women's division correctly, except NXT. They can book the hell out of NXT, but I don't know why it doesn't translate to the main roster women.
Yeah, what women's belts does NXT have? The women's championship. Do they have like
NXT
North American?
American? Mm-hmm.
So that's their Intercontinental. Yeah, so they got them there too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Son, what do you think here? You got any title belts?
Just one that I got for my birthday, the 2013 WWE title that The Rock introduced. That's the only one. Hopefully,
and you got it as a gift, right?
Yeah, it was a birthday gift. Yeah. And if there's one title I would like to have one day is the WWF version of the Smoking Skull belt, because I'm obviously just that much of a Stone Cold fan.
And there's a reason why you want that, because he was that great. Like, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Stone Cold for sure.
Sorry, son, to
as-
interrupt, but
yeah.
I have 2 titles, and the only reason I just got these titles, the only reason I have it is because a friend of mine passed away and he left it to me in his will. That's the only reason I have titles.
Oh yeah, I got no issue though. I got one of my best friends. He's a huge championship collector. He's brought all the world titles and everything. So I know it means a lot to them. I just never have personally been into collecting titles like that. But hey, more power to you if you do. But as far as these mid card titles for the women, it is to me very much a case of what sounds good on paper versus how will execution play out in reality. So on paper, I think the idea of getting these mid-card titles to the women sound great. That means more storylines, more character development for a lot of the under the main event, pretty much the mid-card ladies on the shows. So that sounds great. Execution-wise, we've seen that the WWE has definitely struggled with those tag team titles for the women over the years, and I applaud Triple H. I know a lot of people have been like, get rid of the tag titles. I've been glad that he has been giving the women a lot more spotlight and having them featured, especially recently. Bianca Belair and Jay, they've been on every show and everything. So I appreciate that he's been putting that effort, but the key is going to be coming down to these storylines. If we're going to be using this as a vehicle to set up the storylines for these characters, then great. What I don't want to see, and I think there's been too much of this, in 2014 it made sense when you had John Cena coming out there doing the whole US Open Challenge, because that was a whole part of his character. The people that didn't like Cena, a lot of them said they thought his in-ring work was blah, right? But then he went out there and proved that he could put on banger after banger with a lot of the mid-card talent. So it made sense for Cena's character. But after Cena dropped the US title, it seems both WWE and AEW, they would do this all the time. And my issue with the whole Open Challenge, that's 6 weeks of storyline. Instead of doing every single week, 6 competitors, why not build up a storyline between each one, which is something I'm glad Triple H has done with the Intercontinental title. Jey Uso won that tournament, and he spent about a good 3 weeks building up Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and showing how much this meant to them. If we're going to get that type of level of storytelling with the mid-card titles for the ladies, I think great. But if they're just going to use it as a way just to do open challenges for the ladies in the mid-card every week, then it's just going to come down to, like, do we have too many titles? So that's my take. But as far as who I think should win as well, I think Chelsea Green, like everyone's been saying, is very good because she knocks everything the WWE gives her out of the park. So even if WWE doesn't invoke too much storyline into her, Chelsea's going to make it work. And for the Intercontinental title, because her uncle was so synonymous with that title as a workhorse on his way to the world title, I think Natalya would be very great to be the first, or no, actually second women's Intercontinental champion. Shout out to China being the first. I think that would be awesome. So that's my take on the mid-card titles for the women.
Technically, though, she was the men's Intercontinental champion.
True.
Right? So Natalya would still be the first women's, as far as I'm concerned.
Women's dedicated Intercontinental champion, yeah, for sure.
Yes. All right, thank you, Son. Aaron.
Okay, well, we got some super chats here, so this is going to go for a while. But I did touch on this on the Raw recap. I'm like whatever at this point. I think there are too many titles, and you all made some good points about the titles. It is what it is. I think it's a confirmation that Raw is going to be 3 hours again, and SmackDown is going to be 3 hours. Better get ready for it. 6-hour shows. They got more content, more TV time. So that's how they justify adding another championship. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, how long until WWE has trios titles? I mean,
No way.
I don't think they will. Never say never, though.
I mean, they did have a 24/7 title, but
yeah.
I think it would have been good a decade ago when you had the Shield, the Wyatt family, and the New Day all in WWE. But now, I don't know about that too much at that point.
Yeah.
If you do that at that point, they'll try to say you're copying AEW.
Well, speaking of championships, the Shanti says, stick to NoDQ, sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Shanti. Matt Cardona will carry the women's U.S. title around in GCW should Chelsea win it.
I
Yeah,
doubt
No,
it.
100%. 100%.
No, why? Because they'd punish her for that for sure.
That's the closest he's ever
unless
going to
they
get to a
unless
WWE title
they
again.
tell him to do it, they might. You know what I mean? Working
Yeah.
relationship. Which
Did he do something like that though? I think I remember hearing he did something like that with one of the titles that
He took a
that
picture
Chelsea
with
had.
the tag team titles when she won with Piper Niven. He took a picture with the championship. That's as close as he's going to get to a title in WWE again. So there you go. We got some super chats here from Psycho Jet Black. So talking about titles, son, imagine WWE creating a Dragon Ball Z title belt. Would you buy it if WWE put one on the market for $499? Yes or no?
No, I probably wouldn't. I'm not a big Dragon Ball figure collector. Honestly, I tend to invest most of my money into equipment for my content creating and filming career. So I don't tend to buy like a lot of like the collector's editions and stuff. I do buy DVDs, Blu-rays, because I like owning for like Dragon Ball. I own this stuff, but yeah, a lot of the more material things I don't really invest into. Once again, nothing against those who do, but yeah, I probably would not. But I definitely would look at some high quality images of them. And Xavier Woods definitely for Dragon Ball, and Kofi can fight over the Dragon Ball title for sure if they do make something.
Speaking of what I was earlier about these morons on TikTok becoming famous, everybody give your attention to Son and grow his channel and his content creation like that. You know what I mean? Somebody with actual talent.
Check out his stuff. You know, he should have a bigger following. So make sure you guys,
gentlemen, I do appreciate that because I live this stuff. 8 YouTube shorts a day, live streams. I buy all this equipment up. I put the effort in tiny, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I mean, Son works 10 times harder than I do. So you guys,
look, I don't have a good camera, good mic. Son's crisp, clear sound, HD quality.
Yeah, make sure you guys give Son a follow. And we got a couple more here from Psycho Jet Black. This one's for Big G. Big G, will you get a Steelers wrestling belt? $499.
No,
Steelers replica title. No. $399.
What if it was signed by the entire team the year they won the Super Bowl?
Then possibly for a collector's item.
Question though, how much money would that be worth?
It'd be way more than $399.
So would you purchase it just so they could resell it at a higher price? I wonder. Maybe
hell yeah, I would.
It might be a good investment.
Punk hates people like you. That's why he doesn't really sign stuff.
All right, so this one's for me. Psycho Jet Black says, "Will I buy a Sam's Club Championship belt?" You know what? If they made it similar to the Nathan's hot dog title, like did like a mustard colored title.
Oh my God!
Club, I might just have to do it. Thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black. Michael sent it a $2 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Says Dakota Kai should win the new women's IC title. I think it's going to be Natalya. I think they're going to give Natalya the title because she's been the veteran of WWE's women's division. She's been around forever. So, this is going to be like our thank you to Natalya for everything. I think
she'll put someone over. Yep. That's how.
But I think that shows the amount of sheer talent in the women's division that you really can grab any one of these to choose any one of the women for this championship in the mid card for the U.S. and Intercontinental title and just put them into that spot because there's so many talented women out there in WWE right now. So yeah.
Oof's gonna hurt his chances of getting on the review by admitting that he has 10 replica belts and proud of it.
Oh, I'd love to have him come on and call him a mark to his
the mark. Who can. I ain't got money to throw away like that.
I did have two. I did have
the titles. Live life, enjoy.
So here's another issue with the titles. So Triple H is only doing the 5-6 match cards, and this guy experience. This guy sent in a $2 super chat, says, Paul, you better showcase all these belts on pay-per-views or premium live events. Damn well that's not going to happen.
Yeah, at this point, we are never going to have another Clash of Champions or Night of Champions. I don't think we are.
Yeah, you'll be lucky if you see that IC title ever defended on a premium live event. Like, if it happens once a year, people should be happy with that.
Well, you're getting it this Saturday.
Maybe somebody who isn't really going to be the big time champion should cash in the money and bank on that title and make it feel important. I mean, you got little ways to do it. Hey, but then again, you'll think they're stupid for not doing it in the world title. So it's like you damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Charlotte Flair will definitely get one of those mid-card titles on the PLE.
Yeah. I can see that happening. So Virtue, we can move to the main event. Oofman says he's proud to be Mark. You know what? Him and you share similar beliefs in certain things in the world. I'm not going to say anything else beyond that, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So maybe you guys would get along. Anyways, let's get to the main event.
Okay, main event. Paul Heyman returns, obviously, and then CM Punk follows shortly thereafter to join the original Bloodline in the War Games feud against the new Bloodline. So what's everybody's thoughts on this? CM Punk, we are all talking about Seth Rollins because Bronson Reed's on the other end, but here we are, CM Punk. And, of course, let's note that when Heyman came back, he was very tan, and he was almost looked like he was borrowing the suit and dress wardrobe from Solo. Very interesting. That could be nothing, just a little side distraction because that's what they love to do is get the fans to talk. But let's dissect this. Son, I will start with you.
Well,
Ladies
as
and
y'all
gentlemen.
know,
Go ahead. Can you do Paul Heyman?
Oh, not like his voice, but ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to talk about the Bloodline story. That's about the best I got, probably, but it was great to hear the ladies and gentlemen once again from Paul Heyman. As y'all know, storylines, yes, I love wrestling. I love the action, but when that action is built by great storytelling and captivating characters, man, this is when wrestling's cooking. Now, in the beginning, I was like everybody else, and I think I still would have felt it okay if they left it at this. The 4-on-4, you got the OG 4 Bloodline members and the current new 4 Bloodline members. I felt that's really all you needed. I didn't think there was any need to really go ahead and make a 5th man, but they wanted to do 5-on-5 for War Games. But that being said, and I told Aaron this in a comment on one of his reviews recently, the way they implemented here with Bronson Reed and the way they kind of made you think that Seth Rollins is going to join them, and he does it, which I like, because yes, why should Seth want to join Roman after everything they've been through? And it comes out it's CM Punk with Paul Heyman, so he's doing a favor to Paul, and it still works very well in the storyline. And as Virtue mentioned, Paul was wearing a suit similar to that of Solo Sikoa. There's so many different parts that you can pick apart here in this story of where is it going. Roman still hasn't been humbled, I think, in terms of saying sorry and everything and stuff like that for his teammates, but they're all just putting together. So where's that going to go? Is Seth Rollins going to get involved? Because now both Bloodline members have chosen the 2 people that he's feuding with, CM Punk and Bronson Reed. So I wonder if he's going to factor into this. And ultimately, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, I think Roman Reigns is the biggest story to look out for, because all those months when Solo Sikoa was verbally abusing Paul Heyman until they eventually physically abused him by putting him through the table with a power bomb, where he said he didn't talk to Roman at all during all of that. So where was Roman then? And now Roman wants to come back and start talking to him, and the phone line basically is disconnected from him. So it kind of almost seems, yeah, Paul Heyman's like, okay, that's where you really cared about me. So, okay, I got you. So I'm wondering where this is going to go. I'm not sure who's going to win this. That's the thing. I do not know. They're probably going to give Roman and CM Punk the big win because they're on the old Bloodline side, but a lot of people haven't talked about this. We've been talking about this is where everything's built up to. The War Games match between OG and New Bloodline. But the effects of this match is certainly going to lead us into the next story arc of where they're going to pay things off at WrestleMania. And to me, that is the most intriguing thing. It can go either way, but how does this get us to WrestleMania? So I think so far, WWE, once again, they are still cooking, even with the additions of CM Punk and Bronson Reed, which certainly won't hurt the match. And I'll also say, I didn't think there needed to be a women's War Games match either, but the star power in that, fantastic for the women, and I feel that's going to be an awesome stacked match as well. Would have wished Jade could have been there with Bianca and Rhea doing those cool triple team power bombs, but it's still going to be great. So overall, Survivor Series is cooking, and I think this storyline with the Bloodline is still cooking as it has been for 4 years.
All right, well, thank you for that. Now I'm going to go over to Big G. And Big G,
How the hell am I supposed to follow that?
so during the pandemic, when Roman came back and the Bloodline thing was formed, and you still had Cody Rhodes and CM Punk over in AEW. Now they are both in WWE,
Right.
working with Reigns and the Bloodline over the last couple of years in some capacity. This epic fail on Tony Khan. This is great. Cody Rhodes and Punk thriving with the Bloodline, with Roman, top players. That's all I got to say. I mean, I think you guys know. You just know. I was just waiting for a moment like that. So that was a good curveball when I heard CM Punk's music.
Yeah. So Paul Heyman coming back, you know, him doing the ladies and gentlemen, I popped for it. I was like, yes. You know, I was expecting them to do kind of what they did at like last year's Survivor Series. Well, not really last year's Survivor Series, but having it be on 5 and 4 because they couldn't find a fourth member or a fifth member. And then once all 4 of them in the ring, I figured Paul Heyman would come out, and that would lead out to, you know, possibly CM Punk coming out at Survivor Series. You know, yesterday was 1 year. Yesterday, the day before, it was 1 year when he came back to WWE. So it'd be fitting. But it was cool to see Heyman on SmackDown. The reception he got. You know, Heyman always cuts a great promo. And then, you know, Son hit it earlier, you know, saying both teams try to get Seth Rollins, but he wasn't going to do it. So, you know, could have been Seth or CM Punk? Could have been. I mean, things are still aren't all that great, but could have been a Brock Lesnar as well. You know, he could have came back, but CM Punk is a good fit. You know, if you go back to a couple months on, was it SmackDown when CM Punk came, and you know, Paul Heyman asked him if he could take him with him, and they have the history too. You know, back in the day, back in 2012, 2013 time era. So it's all fitting, and I'm still enjoying the Bloodline storyline, even though, you know, there was a couple times I ate crow and crapped on it, but I'm loving it, every single moment of it. Like, I literally can't wait till Friday to see what's gonna happen. You know, because I didn't read the spoilers, because I'm not one of those people. I want to enjoy watching SmackDown, enjoy watching Raw, because I'm always at the edge of my seat. Like a couple of weeks ago, when Roman called Paul Heyman's phone, I was like, "What the heck?" You know, I'm intrigued. I want to. They left us with a cliffhanger, and they want us. They want us. Ah, I'm getting all tongue tied here because how passionate I am right now. But they want us. I want more. I want more of the Bloodline storyline, and I want to see how it's going to culminate to WrestleMania.
Can we just make, because he's already done it this year for a match, can we just make Seth Rollins a special referee for this War Games match?
Seth is going to, like Son said too, you know, Seth is going to be involved some way, somehow, because he is feuding with Bronson and CM Punk. So there's always going to be some kind of shenanigans happening. So
it's War Games, so anything could happen.
So,
okay, you good, Big G there? You got your tongue untied?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Walter.
Hi, Walter. Woohoo! Walter.
My mouse would cooperate for me to unmute. My mouse was like, I couldn't find the mouse for a second. Yeah, I love this story. And the thing you did, Virtue, what you said about the black and red and how he dressed like Solo, if you don't think Paul did that on purpose, then you don't know Paul Heyman. He pays attention to every little intricate detail. That was done on purpose. He knows what he's doing. He loves to troll people. He knows what he's doing. And that pop, and for a minute, the way he said, it's not going to be 4 on 5. It's going to be 5 on 5. For one split second, he had me. I thought he was going to say an F5, and it was going to be Brock Lesnar. I swear I thought for like a quarter of a second, the way he phrased it, that it was going to do that. But if you think about it, people that said CM Punk doesn't make sense. Who, because he wasn't in the company, is obviously the reason, but who of all people was immune from Roman's reign of terror that whole time? It's definitely Punk. He had nothing. Yeah. So Roman never really screwed him over ever. And you think about the last time he was in WWE, people forget. And you know, JJ said it on the thing. People forget that Shield was associated with Punk when they debuted against that match in Survivor Series with Ryback. And there was a long story whether Punk was really the one running the Shield. And he had to keep saying, I have nothing to do with the Shield. I have nothing to do with the Shield. He had to keep saying the Shield has nothing to do with it. They're just randomly doing whatever they want to do. But they tried to run a story where it looked like it was Punk behind the Shield when they first debuted. So if you want a full circle moment, there you go. Like it all goes back. It goes far back. Paul Heyman knows what he's doing.
Yeah, because Heyman said on TV not to like Punk was right.
Yeah.
Didn't he tell Roman and Bloodline that Punk was don't touch him? Yeah.
Yeah. He said that
Basically.
he was the guy don't touch. And then we all know a couple months ago when he was solo, he said, "What's the favor you want me to do if I do for you?" It's like, take me with you. This is the favor. You need to pay it back. You need to help Roman for me, please. And Paul Heyman. But the fact that they're playing little, there's so many working cogs to this because why was Punk able to contact Paul but Roman couldn't? Like, why was the phone number like why did you change the number and then you gave it to him or disconnected it or whatever? But then it's also, why didn't you look for me on Heyman's perspective? Why didn't you look for me or help me this whole time? Every time I need you, you go on vacation, you disappear. Like, and I had to deal with this bloodline while you were going away enjoying your life. It's like there's so many parts, and like I love everything to do with it. In terms of Sunday, I predict, I wasn't on your show, but I think the new bloodline is gonna win. But you said they're gonna give Punk and Roman their moment. I don't even think Punk is involved in this match. Before he even comes out, Rollins is gonna stop it, and it's gonna lead to some crazy brawl with Punk. Punk doesn't even get involved in this damn match. It's gonna lead to the WrestleMania thing, or if he does get involved, it's very little.
Here's an idea. Let me throw an idea out since I was going to go anyways here next. So what you said, what if Seth Rollins does attack CM Punk and then it's 4-on-5 again? And then what if The Rock shows up? And I don't think this is going to happen, but imagine if The Rock shows up, you think he's the new fifth guy, but then he attacks Roman Reigns and helps the new bloodline win the match. Like, that would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen though.
I don't think.
And then Solo gives him the Ulafala, and it's almost like when they made him the corporate champion in 1998.
Because you know what? They'd be combining several different things. Like, remember when Edge took out Kofi Kingston in Elimination Chamber? Like, they could do that, recreate that with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. And then you recreate the NWO with Hulk Hogan, where Rock's out there as the fifth guy, but he's actually not with Roman's bloodline. He's with Solo's bloodline.
Very interesting.
The Rock is here. The Rock's going to help his cousin. Rock bottom to The Rock. Solo covers Roman.
I would love it if that happened, but for some reason, I don't think we're going to see Rock until at least the Netflix Raw. Then maybe he's revealed as the behind it because he's pissed at Solo. Like, you couldn't handle it. I got to reveal everybody what happens. And it's like, he has to give him the Ulafala and everything, but it's because he's ashamed that he couldn't beat Roman and he couldn't be the leader that he needed to, so they had to reveal him. Kind of like, I don't want to say the higher power storyline, but we all know Rock is really the one pushing it, so Solo has to maybe bend the knee and actually admit that Rock is the real tribal chief and apologize and basically get Rock's permission to even stay in this bloodline, because why couldn't you handle it? I did a couple movies, I had to make money and kind of puppeteer. Yeah.
As ironic as it is, they could do that, and then Solo could be one of the guys that helps Reigns at WrestleMania against The Rock. And all of them are back together again, but this time, anyway. Son?
Yeah, I was saying, just great stuff from everybody, and just hearing Walter speak, man, it just tells you how far this goes back, because even before this, if you go back to year 3, how many times was Paul getting the gray hairs and looking exhausted until Roman come back? So it sounds like, Paul may have just gotten tired of Roman, but I just hearing all these different possibilities, I'm curious, does everyone think this is just going to be straight up good guy, bad guy, good guy bloodlines beat the bad guy bloodlines, and that's how the show's going to end?
That's how I think it's going to end.
There's going to be something that's going to be like, holy crap, now we're kicking into WrestleMania gear here.
There's a lot out there. Like Arlene said, she thinks that when they win, Jimmy's going to kick Jay and it's going to start over again. It's like Jimmy, like if you look, it's just too how quickly he forgave Roman and joined is just too obvious. And it's like he quickly interrupted the little show. He was like, well, Wise Man said he trusts him, so we got to trust him. And it's like he's just too much of a yes man. And that's Arlene's theory. And it's going to be Jimmy that turns. But
or Jacob Fatu, he gets tired of Solo. That you keep losing us the big matches, and Jacob takes control because that man's promo and presence, man, he like I said, he's the stand out of the new.
That's why
Bloodline.
for the bonus I picked him. I think he's going to start, and it's going to be a showing for him. The first few minutes is just him beating ass. Like it's going to be Jacob like showing that damn he's the enforcer for real.
And for all those people that used to doubt me on Roman Reigns, look at all these people he's helped get over. Like,
Yep.
Like and even over more than they ever have been. Cody Rhodes. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Aaron, pass it over to you finally.
All right. Well, I've pretty much said my piece on it. Like I'm very intrigued for Survivor Series. There's a lot of possibilities as we've all talked about, but yeah, I think it's going to be the safe ending. I don't think they're going to do anything heavy until Netflix, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Never say never. Michael sent in a $2 super chat, says rumors that there will be multiple Saturday nights main events in 2025. Yes, that is a rumor, and I expect there to be more after this one coming up in a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 a year. And I'm happy it's back, and I think that they're going to treat it more like a major event than they did like in 2006, 2007. So yeah, looking forward to it. And I would expect more in 2025. And then Psycho Jet Black sent in this super chat, and then we can do our plugs. Will The Rock go hard on Roman Reigns on the mic? Yes, he should. And Roman Reigns can come right back at him. And I argue Paul Heyman should stay with Roman Reigns because we got to have some Rock and Paul Heyman promo battles. Like, how do you not do that, right?
Yes, these two are family, so nothing's off limit with them. They're gonna be like, "Dude, go after me," and I
just hope I don't have to wait one more year for Roman Rock one-on-one.
Me neither. Like, that's that long. It's like Batista. Give me what I want.
On a more selfish level, I don't think I mind because if they don't, I'm not gonna go to WrestleMania this year most likely. But if they're gonna do this in the Indianapolis WrestleMania 1 year later, I'm like, oh, okay, that's only 2 hours away for a drive for me. I'm like, yeah, but that's just me selfishly speaking.
Son, take me with you.
All right,
got a year and a half to build up to it.
All right, final words. Go ahead, son. Thanks for joining us again. It's always great to have you.
Absolutely, always great being on here. And I'm just waiting for Aaron to get the plug up. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to be super busy working my daytime job and then coming back to do these streams. But I'm going to make it through. 2024 review for Survivor Series going up on Saturday. And then Sunday, 2024 match ranking for Survivor Series. And either on Friday or maybe early in the week, I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Daima Episode 8 review. So a lot of content coming this week at youtube.com/SunGoshoku. You can also follow me there on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, and TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to get the, the Blue Sky or Blue, whatever it is now, the new one. We got to see about that one. But anyways, always great to be here on NoDQ. Thank you so much for having me. And most importantly, everybody, remember to support NoDQ.com. And may everyone have a wonderful, blessed holiday season.
Thank you, son. All right, Big G.
Yes, you can follow me. There you go. On YouTube at Harley and Joker 2021. If you're a big cat person, I got a bunch of videos of my cats doing some cool and funny things. X NoDQ_Big Baller G. I just am on there just retweeting and reposting other people's things. I hardly tweet on there or write on there anymore. TikTok, Big Baller G 1988, and on Insta NoDQ_Big Baller G 1988. And that is it for the Big Baller.
All right.
Oh, there's a plug for the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, to make you guys follow him.
I don't even think he's got that up anymore. All right, Walter.
All right, you can follow. Let me look over my shoulder before I get smacked in the back of the head from the wife. But accident, but she actually did it. Like, it was a troll. Like, she knows about this grab. She did it on purpose to bring Brady. She slapped the hell out of me and it made everybody laugh. But I told her to do it. It's a work, Marks. Right, Virtue? Twitter, on X, you can follow me at Walter Alex Cruz, and also the same name on Blue Sky. I just opened the Blue Sky account. On the personal Instagram, walter.cruz.940, and of course the at Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel, all one word. Do not space it because you won't find the right person. And yes, Mamacita Matthew, but that's it for me. And of course, as always, thanks for having me up here, guys. I love to be on here.
Thanks. And I know you're trying to watch NXT right now. All right, Aaron.
All right. We got a super chat here from Emmanuel. Shout out to Emmanuel. Thank you. Says, who are you not thankful for this Thanksgiving? Not thankful for. A little bit of negativity here. Who are we not thankful for? Well, I won't
mention their names, but at least one or two dirt sheet writers.
I won't say it either, but I'll show you. You already know. That stands for Simply Reliable Studio.
292.
Everybody knows what else it stands for.
292.
It's SRS. Virtue,
honestly, just people who bring negativity to this world, because we need more love in this world.
I agree. I'm not thankful for all the trolls on Twitter that just spew out negativity every day, and then you got people arguing on Twitter at like 3 a.m. over trivial things. I mean, come on now.
I even step back on Twitter. Like, I might call somebody a mark that like kind of insults me, block them, and then I'll unblock everybody I blocked at the end of the week, and then I move on my way. I'm just tweeting about wrestling, opinions, video games. So even me, it's like been a little more lighthearted lately on X.
Well, there you go. There's hope for everybody. But yeah, thank you for that, Emmanuel. And Virtue, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, for those of you in the United States. Virtue, go ahead and sign us off.
Speaking of X, follow me over there if you dare at NoDQ_Virtue.
Are you going to Blue Sky?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm not democratic. Go to NoDQ.com/merch and get out all the great NoDQ merchandise over there, including the Virtue collection. But that is it for Aaron Rift, for Sohn, for Big G, for Walter, and the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy. Good night, everybody, and we will see you again next time. Happy Thanksgiving.